If you're a fan of horror movies, you may know this guy, the godfather of gore, the sultan of splatter, Tom Savini, in the chair.
He is one of the most sought-after creators of such effects in the entire movie industry. His credits include Dawn of the Dead, Creepshow, The Burning, and a whole slew of Friday the 13th movies.
And his work propelled him and elevated him into sort of marquee status.
Rob?
Hey, Tom.
Are you Rob? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
How are you, buddy?
Hi.
How you doing?
Great. Is this what you're going to use on me?
That's what we're going to use.
All right. I think I'm ready. This is the weirdest thing I've ever done. But I know I love the barbershop.
All right, Tom. So what are we doing? We doing a haircut today?
No.
haircut?
My Flowbee took care of my hair.
You don't really have a Flowbee, do you?
Oh, yeah, I have the original Flowbee.
So this guy walks in. I'm thinking he's getting a haircut because it's hard to talk to someone while you're shaving them. And this guy uses a Flowbee. Are you kidding me? A Flowbee? I remember those commercials.
Now you can have the same exact haircut time after time with many different styled layered haircuts to choose from. And it's fast, easy, and clean.
Where do you even find that?
Well, the one I use is ancient, and I have two backups. They're still in plastic. Where did I find it? I have no idea. I probably ordered it from some
I don't even think they make
TV
them anymore.
phone
But you gotta know how to
They
use
make
those.
them, but they call them something else. I wish they would change the name.
So you don't like just getting it done. You just.
No, yeah, I think just a shave would be
We're
cool.
just gonna do a shave? Okay. Unbelievable. The Flowbee. So before you go on set, just Flowbee it up, go.
If I need a haircut, yeah.
That's it, eh?
Well, my hair's been, usually it's very long. It was that long in Django. I had a beard down to here for Django, and my hair was quite long. People don't recognize me from the movie because, I'm going for the short.
The name, when they see your picture, people know who you are. Your name, I mean, a lot of people know your name, but when it's the younger generation. Not that nobody knows who
And
you are.
what do
but
they say? Sex machine?
Yeah, they say that. That's, you know what I tell them? I said it's the guy who had the revolver holster down here.
I'm glad you said it like that because most people say, that little gun you had. I said, it's not little.
It wasn't a little gun.
No.
It wasn't a little gun. He's a legend. He's worked with the greats. He's remade Dawn of the Dead. I worked on Django Unchained, Dusk Till Dawn, 1996, all classic stuff, man. Dusk Till Dawn was fun to do, right?
Well, look, the fun was who I got to hang out with. George Clooney.
Harvey Keitel.
George Clooney, nicest man I've ever met.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, she was scary.
Scary.
Yeah, because she was in character all the time. When we went out to lunch at night, so what I'm thinking, the movie she did before that was Natural Born Killers. So she was that character all the time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have wanted to be around
her and Woody Harrelson on
that
set.
movie, yeah.
I'm gonna do a little pre-shave oil that I make myself. It's all natural.
Okay.
So
Little plug,
we'll just get it. Yeah.
Oh, it smells great.
Tell me about your childhood.
My
What music did you listen to growing up? You grew up in the 50s?
I listened to a lot of Disney stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're a horror makeup master, legend, and you listen to Disney music.
Yeah, and even the comic books. The comic books I read were like Little Lulu, Batman sometimes, Superman, but I wasn't really into comic
No
books.
music though, like just Disney? Any rock and roll? Nothing in that?
Yeah, The Great Pretenders.
Yeah.
No, The Great Pretender was a song. But listen, I'm a kid in the 50s.
What kind of student were you?
I didn't pay attention a lot.
So you didn't do well in school, or you did?
No,
Rebel?
I did okay.
Kicked out?
I did okay enough to get into a good college, when I was done.
And then...
But I'm trying to think music-wise, it was just what was on the radio,
And then you got drafted.
No, I enlisted.
You enlisted. You wanted to go.
No, I didn't want to go to Vietnam. I enlisted to stay out of Vietnam.
So you were a combat... what were you doing in it? Combat photographer.
But that's what I was. I was a photographer before I joined the Army. But I enlisted to get my choice of training. Because if you're drafted, you're infantry. When you enlist, it adds a year to your enlistment, but you get the training that you want. So I chose photography.
Did it have a...
And I'm thinking, what would I need photographers for in Vietnam?
Yeah.
I promise you, the day I got out of that school, they shipped me right to Vietnam.
Right away, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't imagine being 21 years old and going to war.
So you can imagine them, this little kid loafing on the corner in my neighborhood, making up monsters. And it's like the movie Deer Hunter, where everyone's having fun. They're at weddings, boom, suddenly they're in Vietnam. That's what it felt like, because you can't believe you're there. And it is like that kind of a mental transition. I was just with my friends, boom, now I'm in a country where they want to kill me. When does that happen in your life? Does that happen to me? When you're there after 6 months, you're entitled to R&R, which means rest and recuperation. A lot of guys went to Australia, Thailand, you know. I went to Hawaii, hooked up with my wife at the time. I waited until my 10th month, because I didn't want to go back to Vietnam and have 6 months left, so I waited for my 10th month. But when I got back to Vietnam, they put me on the worst duty possible, 30 days of guard duty. This means that you're in a bunker, and there's 4 guys, you and 3 other guys, and you're in a bunker made of sandbags, and it's loaded. You've got an M60 machine gun, you've got grenade launchers, you've got claymore mines. You know, every bunker is an arsenal, and there's 7 bunkers. And the officer, a commanding officer, is in the first bunker. So, in front of each bunker is a tripwire, in front and on the sides. So somebody bumps it, a flare goes off.
Yeah.
If somebody cuts it, it's spring-loaded, a flare goes off. Now, if you saw 1,000 Viet Cong running at you from the woods, you're not allowed to open fire. You have to get in touch with the command bunker. He has to call battalion. He actually comes with a night scope. If he sees them, then he calls battalion, so you're not allowed to open fire. Anyway.
You open fire.
It's my 7th day of guard duty. It's 3 in the morning. We just smoked the biggest joints. Because the best weed in the world
Was over there?
is Vietnam, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It grows like 15 feet high. So 3 o'clock in the morning, the Chinook helicopters go by, and they're firing, 600 rounds a minute. Nothing can be out there anymore. So you light up and you relax. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on, you take shifts. The guys above sleep, and then you trade with the guys above. So it's our turn down in the, where the M60 machine gun is, me and Morales. And my trip flare goes off. I immediately open fire. I was so scared. I saw this thing coming. I immediately open fire. The guys above me are setting off claymore mines. Trees are falling over. Every bunker is now firing in front of my bunker. And it was a duck. Now there's a battalion of headlights coming from, to me.
Just a duck.
A duck. And he flew away.
He made it.
Yeah.
He didn't even die and all that.
No. And we covered every square inch of dirt with something, a bullet, shrapnel, So now this caravan of Jeeps comes to me, and a general gets out of the Jeep, and I'm shaking, I can't talk. He calms me down. He says, "Why'd you open fire?" I said, "My trip flares went off, sir." "Oh, well, I guess I would have opened fire too." "What was it?" "It was a duck, sir." He said, "Did you get it?" No, sir, it flew away." He said, "Well, next time challenge it," which means, "Halt, who's there?" Wham. Okay. So they took me off guard duty. 7th night, they took me off guard duty. And the rest of my time in Vietnam, they called me the Duck Slayer.
The Duck Slayer.
However, the next night, we were attacked. That line got attacked by sapper squads. I wasn't there. Friends of mine died. Bunks in the barracks were empty because they got killed. And I wasn't there. The duck saved my life. So I never eat duck.
You got pulled from duty, so you don't eat duck.
Because I never eat duck, yeah. The duck saved my life.
I heard something to that effect, but I thought it was baloney.
Well, you just heard the whole story.
I just heard the whole story. That's crazy.
The duck saved my life in Vietnam.
Couldn't have been easy as a 21-year-old Vietnam. We've all seen a lot of Vietnam movies, and just inspired him for his future makeup career. I wanted to know is how did you meet Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, I was at a convention. This kid came up to me and, "Mr. Savini, I'm a big fan. I wonder."
How old was the kid?
I don't, young
15, 16, 18
no,
maybe?
No, I think early 20s.
20s.
Yeah. So he said, "I work in a video store. I wonder if you'd mind coming by and looking at what we have and signing some of your stuff." And I did, and it was Quentin Tarantino.
Unbelievable.
And working in a video store. This is before anything. This is before Reservoir Dogs, before anything.
Probably writing it at that time.
Yeah. So because I did that, he's hired me 6 times. That's another reason I'm nice to everybody, because they grew up to be Quentin Tarantinos, so you never know.
And how'd you meet Robert Rodriguez?
I met him on From Dusk Till Dawn.
Right there, right? Because he directed?
Well, I sent an audition tape in, and they sent me they don't send you the whole script. They send you a couple of pages of what your dialogue is.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to play this guy, Frost. That's who Fred Williamson played in the movie.
Fred Williamson is the big...
Frost, yeah, the
big
Vietnam guy.
The big black dude.
And I know they sent me that because I'm from Vietnam. I did Vietnam. So I'm looking at the script and I see Sex Machine. And he has better lines and I like his name.
Yeah.
So
Where did that name come from? They say? Nobody said.
It's from a James Brown song.
Sex Machine. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I did this. I did the Sex Machine lines, and it made Quentin laugh. Robert said, and they decided to switch body types.
Yeah.
Sex Machine was a big guy.
He had the bull whip, which you.
Well, the whip was my idea.
But you're mastered the bull whip, right?
Yeah.
From where? Where did that come from?
A stunt guy taught me that on a Chuck Norris movie.
You worked with Chuck Norris?
Invasion USA, yeah. Did a movie in Hong Kong, and I got to meet Jackie Chan in a nightclub. And Jackie Chan put his arm around me and did the thumbs up in front of me, in front of my face. So I go to the set of Dusk Till Dawn, and here comes Harvey Keitel, Robert Rodriguez, and Quentin Tarantino. And Robert says, "Hey man, you're gonna love this Jackie Chan bit I created for you. So it's a thing on a pool table." I reached in my bag and pulled out the picture of me and Jackie Chan together. And it made the moment, He's talking about creating this Jackie Chan bit. Here I am with Jackie Chan. Fuck, it was great.
What is Quentin's fetish with feet?
I don't know, but he does.
Do you see it?
Oh,
Uma Thurman and Kill Bill.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
How about Salma Hayek dropping the whiskey down her foot? That really happened. You were sitting right there.
He wrote that. That's why it's there, because Quentin
He wrote it. And how'd she feel about that? No problem. I know she had a problem with the snakes because she had a snake fear,
Robert
phobia.
said the only way you're doing this part is if you do the snake dance. And she kept, now my job for 3 days.
What was that
to watch
snake?
her.
That was a white boa constrictor? What was that?
I don't know
It was
what
a
that
big white.
Whatever it
You could
was.
see it twisting around her.
Yeah, it doesn't bite though.
No.
But she kept screaming, "It's biting me! It's biting me!"
Well, you see her.
No,
you
it was
see
just- it was
you see
licking her.
You see her face. You see her face when they get the snake out, even when she's dancing, because he told her same thing he told Jessica Alba in Sin City: go with the music, because they didn't really have that, wasn't planned. So she's
So she
dancing.
could ignore
She's
the
going,
snake.
yeah, just go with the music. There was no really. She said, "How do you want me to dance?"
she
And
was
then the band
scared.
was going with her, right? So
Yeah, she
I
was
found that
scared to
awesome.
death of that snake. But the first time I ever met Selma, I'm sitting in the makeup chair, and she's behind me somewhere. And all I could see was the back of her head and maybe this much of her. And it was the most beautiful this much of anybody I've ever seen.
She's in her prime right there in '96.
She's only this tall.
She's small.
she's
right?
very
Is that why they
tiny.
put her up? You think on the tables like that?
That helped, yeah.
Larger than life kind of shot. Salma Hayek, Dusk Till Dawn, was in high school. I think I graduated that year. So yeah, she was definitely in her prime. Did you really punch people there? Like remember when you were changing?
No, it's on the D. I know, Robert
all
said that.
yeah.
No,
Did he do
I
that?
never touched him. I'm a fight director.
Said you punched
I'm
Clooney, you
I'm a
hit-
certified fight director.
Yeah.
I can come as close to you as possible.
That is pretty close.
And not hit you. I did that to Clooney. Now the DVD comes out and Robert
says
said,
that you punched
he said,
everybody.
Here's where Savini really hit Clooney.
Yeah.
Robert,
Because the blood comes out of his mouth. I'm like,
he had a blood capsule.
Yeah.
So Robert, why did you say that?
Yeah.
I lose credibility now
Yeah.
as a fighter. He said, I just made it more interesting.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you, because now,
No.
now everybody can know.
I did not punch
George Clooney. I knew he didn't punch George in the face, so we got to the bottom of that urban myth. So being in horror movies, doing the makeup, what scares Tom Savini?
Razor blades
Funny enough.
and spiders. Here I've got a guy with a razor, doing my Adam's apple as it's bobbing up and down and I'm trying to talk.
Razor
I'm
blades
scared
is
to
fun.
death of
Is
razor
there any
blades.
movies you're in
If
with
somebody
spiders?
comes at you with a razor blade, you're going to get fucked.
Well, shaving someone while they're talking, which we've been doing, is difficult, but I'm taking my time. But yeah,
I trust you.
yeah. This guy, the gore master, and he's afraid of spiders and razor blades, so I find that pretty funny.
That's the two things that I'm afraid of, spiders and razor blades. But I thought I handled that quite well.
You're a big fan of Marilyn Monroe, like myself?
Don't get me started on Marilyn Monroe.
And the conspiracy theories about her death?
There's no conspiracy theory. All you have to do is know the facts, and you know that she was murdered. Listen, I have every book, every video, everything that's ever written about the Kennedy assassination. Marilyn Monroe is another one of those. And to me, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's fact. Did you ever see a George Clooney movie called Michael Clayton?
Yep.
Remember that, when those guys come in and kill that guy?
Yep.
When I see that, I'm thinking, that's
how
what
it's
they
done.
did to Marilyn.
That's how it's done. In most
Exactly.
movies,
There's
they
a lot of
get
truth.
ideas. There's a lot of truth in these stories, right?
Just don't get me started on Kennedy, Jesus.
So, any major movies you want to make, want to get made? Any remakes? A lot of remakes these days.
Yeah, well, I remade Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that worked out well, though.
I did. People
Probably
love
better
it.
than the original, right?
I hear that a lot. I mean, the original was great.
But I read that a lot. But the original, what year was that?
In '68.
And then you did it in...
I was going to work on that movie, but I was in Vietnam. I enlisted on the whole program.
You think Vietnam helped you in your career?
Ah, well, yes. Vietnam was a lesson in anatomy.
You never talked about that. How did you even start in the movie business?
You know, I saw the real thing. I'm the only makeup artist that has seen the real thing. And that's where my reputation comes from, you know. I have a reputation for realism.
Came back from Vietnam. You're in Pittsburgh?
No, I came back from Vietnam. I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
I was in this bar. I don't drink, but there was a guy sitting in the bar. Looked like Indiana Jones. Leather jacket, fedora hat. Forrest Carpenter was his name. We just started talking. And he had just finished making this movie, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. He was the art director. Now, I had my portfolio in the car.
You're still doing your makeup. Even in Vietnam, you were?
No, I was doing stage makeup. There were 3 theaters in North Carolina. I was the makeup director for all 3 of them. So I had a pretty good portfolio anyway. So I'm in the right place at the right time. This guy is a movie maker. He's about to do another movie called Death Dream. I went to my car, grabbed my portfolio, showed it to him. 2 days later, I'm in Florida on that next movie because I had my portfolio. And that's what I tell my students. I have a school in Pittsburgh that teaches makeup effects.
You have a school.
What I preach to them is never go anywhere without your portfolio, because you're never going to know when you're going to meet the guy that can help or hire you, because that's what happened to me. Yeah. And so, yeah, that got me my first 2 movie jobs, was meeting that guy in a bar.
In a bar.
Yeah.
And you don't even drink?
No. I was delivering signs that I had painted for the bar.
Once again, timing. Timing and everything, right?
Yeah.
Right place at the right time. Could have went a different way.
But when you're in the right place at the right time, you have to be ready.
Yeah.
There's no formula for success,
No.
but that's what works, you know.
I find that unbelievable, and just right place at the right time. But like Tom said, you got to know what to do with it. Do you want anything in your hair or anything?
No
You
problem.
want to try some beard oil? You got a goatee there? You want to try a little beard oil?
I've never done it. I'd love to see what it does.
Never tried some? Didn't you have a big...
In Django Unchained, I had a beard
Big
down
beard.
here. My hair was halfway down my back. You know, I was the dog handler. You know?
Yeah.
And the dogs, man, Belgian Malinois Shepherds. They were, you know, they gave me like a...
They look scary.
They were, man.
Were they well trained?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you why. The trainer would say, stand up, sit down, turn left. Like the dog understood English.
Really?
Whatever the guy said, the dog would do. But he said, okay, now I'm going to make the dog go crazy, right? So he said, I want you to try to hold on to the dogs. I had 2 of them, Bullet and King, Belgian Malinois Shepherds. He said, I'm going to make them go crazy, and I want you to hang on to them. Those dogs, they dragged me 30 feet on my knees into the swamp. But eventually, it was like holding back a car.
Because you had both, you had 2,
yeah,
right?
Eventually I got to be bracing myself, and I was able to hold the dogs back. So I'm holding the dogs back. You remember the slave was up in the tree?
Yeah.
Great actor, Josh. Don't know his last name. Anyway, DiCaprio pulls up. He says, shut these dogs up.
Like my dog?
Like we got to shut this dog
Yeah,
up.
this dog we got to shut up.
So
You want to see my dog?
Leonardo DiCaprio comes up. So Leonardo DiCaprio pulls up in that beautiful carriage, and
Yeah.
he says, shut these fucking dogs up.
There's
I
a killer
can't-
dog.
I can't hear what I'm saying.
There's a killer dog. Hey, don't pet the dog though, Tom.
Okay.
He's a killer. He's a killer. There you go, buddy. Ma, come get this dog out of here, please. You got to go away now. You stay away from Tom.
Rocky, come on, you escaped.
Take him out of here.
You want a Cheerios?
Take him back into the apartment.
Come.
No, take him into the apartment.
I've worked with killer dogs. This dog should have a hot dog bun around him.
You don't pet my dog. He would have bit Tom's arm off in a second. He's a little killer. He's small, but he's got a big bite.
So anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio pulls up and he says, shut these dogs up, I can't hear myself think. And the guy next to me is supposed to say, get these dogs out of here, and I take the leashes. This guy is screaming, fuck! And I look, and the dogs are attacking him. They've torn his pants off.
Oh, wasn't that in the film?
It was not in the film. They bit him on his ass. They dragged him to the ground by his ass.
The actor.
Yeah. His ass looked like the planet Mars. So Quentin calls lunch. So we all go to lunch. After lunch, we come back. And the guy is back with new wardrobe. And Leonardo DiCaprio comes up, says his line. And this guy says his line, get these dogs out of here. So I go to reach for his dogs, and now the dogs attack me. I've got a dog on this arm and a dog on this arm.
But you had something on, right?
No, I had nothing on. I'm continuing the scene, and Quentin yells, cut! Now, the animal trainer said the reason I still have my arms is because the dogs are trained to attack stun pads or bite stun pads. I'm not wearing any pads.
No.
It still hurt, but it wasn't the teeth. It was the pressure of their jaws.
So they were
on my
like, they
arm.
knew what they were doing.
Right. So anyway, we both went to the hospital and got tetanus shots at the end of the day. The next day, I'm on set, and this is another tradition on a Quentin Tarantino set.
Just gonna straighten up the back here for you.
I don't know where they hide it. I don't know how they inflate it. But if you fall asleep on a Quentin Tarantino set, they inflate this huge purple penis, and they put it in your face, and they take a picture of you, okay?
Come on.
I promise you. Now, luckily, I fell asleep. No, I know you're cutting, but I fell asleep with my head forward in a chair, and they put the penis behind me, okay? Took a picture. Now, we're in the middle of a swamp in New Orleans, okay? Yeah. The only hard surface on either side of the dirt road is like, 2 feet, okay? Yeah. But they bring out this board, this poster board, that's as big as the wall that you created in the other room, to ceremoniously add my picture to the hundreds of people
so
that fell
nobody's
asleep.
seen it except actors, right?
So I was the purple penis guy. No, I love him. I've never met him before, but I think we're lifelong pals now.
Yeah, good.
Nothing else you want to know?
You're gonna have to come back.
Okay, well,
Come back anytime.
We'll do part
Number two.
Part
Tom
2.
Savini returns.
To be continued.
The godfather of gore, the sultan of splatter, right here in the barber chair.
I'm Tom Savini, and this is the Back Alley Barbershop. This is my first time here, but not the last.